If we could please have everyone's attention. Tracy?
We have someone really wonderful with us tonight. All on her own, she's really wonderful, and she has a tremendous story to share as well. Bo Stern knows that sometimes the most beautiful things can come out of the hardest times of all. Her Goliath came in the form of her husband Steve's diagnosis with ALS, a battle that they as a family are still fighting. She is here tonight to share with us, and truly, the more I read about her, the more I've got to tell you that it is just an honor to ask her to come up on stage and speak with us tonight. Please welcome Bo Stern.
I will tell you that the honor is entirely mine and my family's to be here tonight. I'm not much of a speech giver, so I'd rather just tell you a story, if that's okay. When I was 16 years old, I ran off to college in search of a wildly successful life. And on the first day there, I met a guy named Steve. And it was not love at first sight. It was annoyance at first sight. Actually, we did manage to go on one day, and depending on which of us you ask about it, you will hear that it was either a raging success or a train wreck. But I will tell you, we didn't really talk much the rest of that year after that one date. And then Steve took a semester off of college. It's not my job to tell you why, really. But he took a semester off, and then he came back, and for whatever reason, one of us or both of us had grown up enough that when we saw each other, sparks flew, this time the good kind. And so we got married. Oh, I like that picture. When we got married in 1985, back when people really knew how to dress. I know, thank you. Represent 80s, come on. Big dress, big hair, big hat. I told Aubrey I might wear the hat tonight, and she advised against it, so it wasn't going to happen. So we got married in 1985, and we settled down, as most young couples did back in the 80s. We worked entry-level jobs and tried to cobble together the down payment on a house in Gresham that cost $63,000. I think it's about that same price today. Sorry, it's the truth. And so then we had 3 daughters, and our daughters are the loves of our life. And when the youngest one was 5 years old, we gleefully gave away all our baby equipment, and we started a plan for that day just 13 years in the future when we would be empty nesters. And we didn't know everything we would do when our kids were grown and gone, but we did know that we would join a country club, buy a cool condo, and travel the world. Instead of doing any of those things, we had another baby. He is our only begotten son, and he is also the love of our life, and he is keeping us still a very long ways from retirement. We still are a long ways from being empty nesters. And so we are a normal family. Our family, the Sterns, we go by Team Stern in the Walk to Defeat ALS. We're really, thank you, nice. We're a really normal family. We haven't done anything outrageously extraordinary, but I will tell you the one thing I think we've been pretty good at in our lives is that we have been able to take ordinary days and really live them all the way out. We have loved coffee on the deck. We have loved playing catch in the backyard. We have loved really just being a family for a long time. That's really who we are. And so we've experienced a handful of extraordinary days. We've experienced a handful of bad ones. But then there was a day that we didn't ever see coming. And it was a day in February of 2011 when we sat in, can I just say, the amazing Dr. Goslin's office. Yeah. Amazing. She's probably marking us off her patient list right now for having just mentioned her like that. And she told us that Steve had ALS. And he has always been the strongest man in any room. He has never had a single physical problem in his life. And so though we had seen it coming for 5 months, I will tell you that it was the biggest gut punch we have ever had. And we knew in that moment, we knew that we had a choice to make. We knew that we were at a crossroads. And the crossroads was we could either lay down and die and let ALS steamroll over us and our family and become those kinds of people you don't want to talk to at parties. We could become bitter and broken. Or we could choose to get up and go on and become better because of this thing, become more beautiful, stand with some other families, make a difference in a world and a disease that we hadn't known anything about before. And so we decided we would choose that one. We knew that even though maybe this disease would have the power to limit the number of days in Steve's life, that we as a family had a choice to make, that we could not let it take the life in his days. That we could rock this thing, and we really have believed it. And my daughter and son-in-law came with us to that appointment, and on our way home from that appointment, we stopped at Bridgeport Brewery, and we raised our glasses to life. And we said, we are going to live, and we're going to do this really well. And I would like to tell you that we've done every day like that. I would love to tell you that we get out of bed with a smile on our face and that we've done it all right and every day has gone well, but I will tell you we are not that inspirational. There are days where we don't get it right at all. There are days where the weight of the load of a disease like ALS makes me want to buckle. There are days where I have to find the line between helping Steve with as much as he needs, but letting him stay as independent as he can for as long as he can. And if you think that's an easy line to straddle, I will tell you it is the hardest thing I have ever done. And I have studied Greek and Hebrew. It's really hard, really hard. My husband has always been a fiercely protective provider for our children. And if you think it's easy for him to ask them for help to put his coat on or to cut his food, you are mistaken. It takes a strong man to walk through ALS. And so there are days where we get it wrong. There are days where we get annoyed over the volume of the radio. There are days where we argue over things like, is that Call Me Maybe song really a terrorist plot? Is something behind that song to make us all lose our ever-loving minds, or is it just we're dealing with a heart disease? We don't know. And then there are times I'm embarrassed to tell you that we turn on each other. The very people we're supposed to be fighting for, we fight against. And our words land hard instead of soft. And we say things we regret and we wish we could take them back. But we've learned after 28 years that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. And so we kiss each other goodnight and we say we're trying and we're sorry and we'll take another swing at it tomorrow. There are days that are hard with ALS, and every single ALS family in this room could tell you a million stories of days they thought they couldn't get out of bed. But then there are these beautiful, incredible, amazing days that also I did not see coming after this diagnosis. I did not understand what it would feel like to one day book a trip to somewhere we've always wanted to go instead of waiting till we could afford it. There was a day when Steve and I stood on the steps and we held hands at the Colosseum in Rome. There was a day we sat at a cafe in Barcelona and had churros and chocolate, and we said, can you believe we get to be us right now? There have been beautiful days, and there are moments where we've chosen to say beautiful words to each other, and instead of letting them stick in our hearts and wait for the perfect moment, we go ahead and let them out of our lungs and into the air where they can make a change, where they can live on forever, where we can hold them really close for a day when we need them very much. There have been beautiful days that have come as a result of ALS. And we have had people say, has this ruined your faith? Has ALS destroyed what you believed in before? And can I just tell you, not by a long shot, I can tell you that our faith has increased in so many things. Our faith has increased in our friends and our family who have become an army that have surrounded us and held us and carried us through this time in ways I could not begin to articulate from this stage. They have showed up with flowers and casserole dishes. They have showed up in the middle of the night to plant flowers in our flower beds so that we could wake up and see spring. My faith in people has increased tremendously. My faith in science has increased tremendously. The researchers and doctors that are working tirelessly to find a cure, and can I say from this stage, one day they will find a cure, and my family has a dance party planned, and you are all invited. We make a pretty mean pancake, and we would be glad to just give pancakes to everyone when a cure is found. We believe in science, and we believe in the work that is happening. And I would be mistaken to not say to you tonight that our faith has increased in the hope of a life without breathing machines and wheelchairs, and in the hope of a God who has carried us through this whole journey every single day. I love the work of the ALS Association. All I can tell you is that on the day that you get diagnosed with ALS, you feel like your life is a building on fire, and you wonder if everyone is going to want to run away. You wonder who is going to be able to go the distance with you through a disease this treacherous. And the ALS Association, when everyone else might want to run out, they run in, and they don't just bring a shoulder to cry on. They bring answers. They bring solutions. Recently, my husband went to Nebraska for his father's funeral, and I couldn't meet him there until a week later, and he wasn't able to pack all of his breathing equipment that he needed in his suitcase. And we said, it's okay, when you get to Nebraska, you just can pick it up there, and we forgot that it's Nebraska. And so, I'm so sorry if you're from Nebraska. I apologize right now. And so, he said, I'm not sure what to do. I need to get the stuff I need. And so I made a call to our advocate in Bend, Betsy Page, amazing woman. And I said, could you just give me the contact information for somebody from the ALS Association in Nebraska? Within an hour, I had a phone call from the representative in Nebraska. And she said, what do you need? I will figure it out. She did a Google search. She found the equipment. She had it delivered to my husband an hour away by the end of the day. That is what the ALS Association does for families like mine. That is what they do. And you know, I don't want to minimize the load that anyone carries in the room, but I am telling you, the weight of decisions that have to be made with this disease has been so heavy that when someone will come to you and say, hey, we could help with that, it is like you've been thrown a lifeline. And they have helped us with everything from Social Security issues to what's the right chair for the shower. They help, and they help find answers. And we are so blessed to have them at our disposal when we need them. It is a big deal, and we are so thankful for what they do. And so tonight, I really just want to honor the work of the ALS Association and what they do. I want to honor them for who they are, because I can't imagine, honestly, I can't imagine what it's like to go to work every day for 10 years and work with people you don't know if you're going to get to see them again. I don't know what it would be like, and they manage to stay positive and encouraging through it all, and it's amazing to me. They're heroic to me, and I just want to thank them, because I think all the ALS families could say that we understand this is not a very pretty disease to look at. We know that when we tell people what the diagnosis is, we see the face. It's hard. And the ALS Association doesn't just help us. They also hold the faces of people and say, you should look at this. They help the world see a community that desperately needs to not walk it out alone. And we're so grateful to them for that. And tonight I want to honor you, because you are here and you may not have to be. You are here because you are the kind of person who refuses to look away. You could have done anything with your Saturday night. I'm from Bend. There's nothing else for me to be doing. I'm not going to wear a sparkly dress anywhere in Bend, Oregon. I'm just telling you that right now. But you could go a lot of beautiful places tonight. Thank you for being here. I don't know most of you, but your face makes my family feel not alone. And it's invaluable to us, and we're so thankful. And I want to honor the ALS patients and the people who love them, because you are my country. And you are heroic. And I want to honor Steve Stern because he is still the strongest man in the room. Thank you so much.